Hi, my name is Dr. Arthur Trotsky, and I'm today going to tell you a little bit about the technical aspects of working online. From my own experience, I've been working online now for 12 years. As you can see, I read a lot of books. Well, I don't read that many actually, so I don't read that many books. No, this is much more like, I still a little bit, there you go, a couple of books I read, okay. The reason I'm doing this is because I want to suggest right away that we don't use any virtual backgrounds. And I'll tell you why. Let me put this background back on. It doesn't matter what background I put on. You're going to see some movement that's going to be strange. You see little flashes around the head. When we move, it kind of distorts. So the first thing you would ask yourself is, why is Arthur using a virtual background? He's going to impress us that that's a nice little office he has. Why is he being phony? Plus, it's very distracting. Why not find something that works for yourself? Also, some of the students I work with who live in dormitories who don't want to show their background because it may be messy, they blur the background. I don't suggest we do that as therapists, but if someone chooses to do that, it's not all that bad because you don't have any of the distortions as much as you have with a regular background of an office or something of that sort. So let me get out of this. Okay. Now, it's interesting. I started working online in 2011 by chance. I was using Skype at the time, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. And one of my sons got in touch with me. He was in Europe. And he said, hey, my younger son is on the internet also. Let's pull him in. So here I am, and he was in South America after the Army, his tour. So here I am sitting in my apartment in Atlanta, Georgia. My two sons are right in front of me, and we're talking, just talking. I love you. Don't be afraid. Don't use drugs in Colombia and all that stuff. And I said, I love you guys. Bye. They're gone. And I sat there. I said, wow, that's amazing. I never realized I'm talking with two people, one in Europe, one in South America. And it's just like, I said, this is going to be the future of therapy. And I started doing therapy online. In those days, it was very different than today, but I started doing therapy online. I started doing groups online. And the funny thing I was thinking about today was 11 years ago, I was talking about the benefits of going online as a therapist. And I even said at professional conferences, I said, those of you in the near future who don't go online, who don't transition to the internet are going to be irrelevant. What did I get feedback? What are you talking about? There's nothing like face-to-face. Well, I want to tell you that the research seems to indicate that this is just as effective. And we've using samples for the American Veterans Association of 100,000 people online. They've been online for about 11, 12 years too. So there's a lot of, in fact, we noticed that therapists feel less comfortable than the clients. The patients love it. They love it. They don't have to travel. They don't have to go out in the weather. They're never late for appointment, usually never late. And the nice thing about this is I have no expenses, so I can pass the savings on to clients. I charge $100 in the United States and Europe for an hour, a full hour. And if there's a cancellation, I have no cancellation fee. Because if someone cancels, I just go walk the dog, or I got enough to do on the internet here. I'm not stuck in an office somewhere. So the idea that, oh, by the way, no one foresaw that. I didn't foresee the COVID epidemic coming, and it forced everybody online. In fact, everyone I know of is online today, and it's going to be more and more prevalent. In fact, group work online is becoming more and more popular. And we need to talk a little bit about, from my experience, the technical aspects of working online as a group facilitator. In the beginning, I had a problem with people going online. I was in Israel, and most Israelis, as someone pointed out, were way behind the Americans. The Americans, I had a group of professionals from America, and they were perfect. Except one person one day was lagging, and he didn't know why. I said, is someone else using your internet? And he went upstairs, and his wife had been using the internet, and she had been rearranging the furniture in her house virtually, and that was using a lot of bandwidth. In those days, they don't have like the super bandwidth that we have today. there were people that in Israel. There was one woman who was lagging. I said to her, "Oh, by the way, when I came back to Israel in 2011, the American hospital heads and directors didn't want to touch online work, especially groups. And the reason was, what if someone committed suicide after the group and they sued us?" I said, "Well, you get a good lawyer." He said, "Well, if we lose, we'll have to shut the doors of the hospital." So they wouldn't touch it. I went to several hospitals. Why not, instead of just discharging people, put them in an aftercare? I came back to Israel, and I was sitting with Dr. Chaim Mel, who was the head of the Israel Anti-Drug Authority. And we talking. I told him what I was doing. He says, "I want that, Arthur." I said, "Well, what if someone commits suicide after a group?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "And they sue you." He said, "Let them sue us." That's the difference between the Americans and the Israelis. The Americans say, "Oh no, we'll get lawyers, they'll sue us, litigation." And the Israeli says, "Let them sue us." So we started groups. In fact, we had the first online groups for recovering addicts online, and this was in 2011. So now I'm in a situation where people are starting to consider going online. So I thought I'd help with some of my pointers that I've learned over the years. And I'm sure a lot of you have seen and know this already. Whatever you can get out of it, you can skip ahead or go back in the movie, and you can stop it and focus on something you don't know. Maybe you know it all, but I don't know it all. Trying to put together this this presentation in share my screen was a disaster. I mean, I made a tape, and I didn't realize that what I see on my screen is not what you see on your screen. And so if I want to open a microphone to show you something, I'm seeing it, I'm talking all about it, and you don't see it. So I made it up. I had to do some things to make up for that. So let's take a look at some of the things. Let's go to share my screen. You can't see this. You probably have it on the bottom of your screens. No, you won't. If you're a host, you'll have a whole bunch of things you can do at the bottom. Mute microphones, stop videos, participants, chat, share screen. I don't know what, you may have some chats and some reactions, but I don't think you have share screen, especially if I decide in the settings, no one can share the screen but me, which is a good thing to do. Okay. Now you can't see what I'm doing. I don't think you can see what I'm doing, but there's a screen that talks about share screen, and it says share sound. Very important if you're going to show a clip or something. Now I'm sharing. Now I don't think you see, in fact, I'm sure you don't see, because in my last video, you'll see me here, but you won't see all the different things you can do up top here, okay? So the first important thing I want to say is the setting is very important, okay? You want to make sure that the people you're working with don't have noise or people disturbing them. And that means you want to have people using earbuds or earphones with mic, earphones, because otherwise what you're saying and they're saying is coming out of the speaker, and anyone around could hear them. And also, sometimes when people have the speakers on and the mic, my voice will come out of the speakers into the mic, and I'll hear myself echoing. So how are you today? That kind of thing. So you want to make sure people have the good equipment. Today, most people do, but you want, before you start a group, you see someone has difficulties, you got to tell them, would you please check your mic, because we're getting a lot of feedback. Try and get you. And also, I will tell you from my experience with single mothers who have kids at home, when I'm online with them, they told their kids not to come in. Okay, mommy's busy and I'm talking, and you don't come in. Never works. Almost all the time, you'll see a kid run by the screen, look, and then go out. So that's part of the game. What can you do? So the other thing about the setting is you want to have the proper lighting. Now, I don't use a screen, and I use this chair. This chair it gives a nice background for me. Plus, when I was in psychotherapy in college, my therapist sat in a chair like this, and he wanted me to lay on the couch, but I thought if I lay on the couch, I'm really crazy, so I just sat opposite him. But this is the chair, and I don't know if you saw that. My Microsoft website just flashed on and back. I don't think you saw it. I think it's for me to see what's going on my machine, my computer. What you see is what I enabled you to see. Now, the next thing is the lighting. The lighting has to be balanced. before this session, I had to change the lighting because I had some rain last week and it short-circuited my light. So this part of my face was a little bit brighter than this part. But if you don't have lighting or you have the wrong, you see, this is not the way to do it. You can't see the reactions of the person, and it's very distracting. Also, this is not good either. It doesn't look realistic. So you need to balance the lighting and make sure your background is something you're pleased to show to people, okay? Once you have that, I'm gonna have to open this PowerPoint to show you what I had to, what do they call it? Hold on a second here. They call it the share screen, but screensaver, a clip, a photo of the screen, and I'm putting that up for you now. So, okay. I have an inferiority complex after myself bigger. Okay, now, what you don't see at the top of the screen is what is down here on the host's screen, screen. For example, the mute. We'll start with that's the microphone, okay? You see a microphone and you see an arrow, okay? If you click on the arrow, that's gonna pop up, okay? And that will give you a way to check what microphone you're using. I'm using my webcam as my mic, and the headphones are earpieces. So you can also test your audio. That's the next one, test your audio. You click on speaker and it'll play back a sound. You can hear how clear you are. Maybe you gotta make it lower, adjust the volume, and make sure your headphones are the ones in the box here, okay? You can test your mic, and that's my mic, webcam mic. And if I hit that, and it says recording. So I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And when I take the arrow, the cursor, as they say, off the recording, it will play back. It plays back, I can then adjust the volume. See, I have the volume about 3/4. Okay, so you don't want to be too loud, you want to adjust everything you can. At the bottom here, remember, this is coming all from the audio settings. You clicked on that, you got to this page, if you will. Now, at the bottom, you have the opportunity to adjust the background, a noise suppressor. I have it on auto, but if you had a fan going, or if you had people working outside with a sledgehammer or with an electric hammer, you want to put it on high background to eliminate the noise rather than going out and yell at the workers. That won't do much good here in Israel, but you don't want to tell your folks on the group, listen, we can't have the group, we have to bear with this noise. You can repress it on certain sounds from outside, okay? You can also let's go on from there, okay? So you want to make sure your mic's good. Once your mic's good, you want to go to video settings. Now my video is off because if my video were on here, I couldn't come up on the share screen. You only can have one picture of yourself. So you click on, now we want to look about the camera. So you click on video and you click on, now I can see my camera is the ProStream webcam, okay? It gives you opportunities to mess around with virtual backgrounds. I wouldn't do that. So you go to video settings, and that's what you get. Okay, you get a picture of yourself. Okay, that's the screen, and it tells you your camera. The nice thing about this is you can adjust your lighting here, right here, manual. You can do it automatically. I do manual. And you can adjust that. And I'll show you how that works. I actually figured out how we're going to do that. Look at that. I actually put the manual all the way up. You see the difference? Unfortunately, I'm not good enough to keep the size the same, but you get the idea. That's the important thing. So one of the nice things about the Windows cameras is that you have the ability to make them darker. Today, I had to make it darker because I put a new light in. I always check my microphone and my camera before I go on, and the lighting, okay? Now, before I go to this, I'm gonna get out of here. How do I get out of here? Stop share. Okay, now, I just wanted to show you hold on a sec. Share screen. You can't see all the different items that I have at the bottom. I'll have to go back to sharing the screen. I didn't show you something very important for later. Hold on a sec. Share. I know that's not what I want to do. Yes, it is. Okay. Now, in the original screen, you have a view button up here. The view button can be set on speaker or on gallery. And speaker was what was this. This is speaker. This is the speaker mode. That's me, and this is my client. I came in on the telephone. You'll also see something else about my background. I may not want to let my clients know that I play guitar, okay? Or that I have a toaster here, okay? So that's why I'm up on the chair, and I have the camera adjusted. So this is what you'd see in the speakers mode. And you can have two speakers equally, but I prefer, that would be gallery view. If you're in a private session with one client, if you had gallery view, you'd have two pictures, same size. But I've learned from my clients that they put it on speaker view so that I will be big and they will be small. So I do that now too. I put myself on speaker mode, and that's me up top. And down here is my client. Okay, now that's done by getting to the view in the top of your. Now, what you heard is my dog barking. The problem with the gallery view, you have a group of 8 people, you have 8 equal boxes. Okay, you have if my dog, if I don't have it on gallery view, if I have it on speaker view, my dog barks, my picture is going to pop up. They're all equal, but if I go, it's you, I'm going to pop up. The speaker takes over the screen, and that's not a good thing to have in a group. It's too much action going on, too many distractions, there's lag. This guy can be talking, someone says, hey, I want to say something, and he comes in late, and any extraneous noise will pop the person's picture up. So if you're doing a group, keep it on gallery view. So you go to this, on the basic screen, before you start your meeting, go to view and choose gallery view, okay? This is the speaker view, individual therapy, okay? Oh, I did want to show you something else, very important. Okay, you see down here at the bottom of the screen, there are 2 things I want you to see. One is this little icon next to the, I don't know if my arrow will show it, but down at the bottom of the screen to the right is an icon showing the internet, the bands of internet, and next to that there's a speaker. Now that speaker is very unnoticeable. It's so small and insignificant, but it can be very significant, and I'll tell you why. Okay. You see, if I put my cursor on the speaker, it'll pop up and show me headphones are 100%. But more important than that, that's what I get if I click on the speaker. Now I can see, I can regulate the voice, and I can regulate the brightness, okay? And I can press here and see what things are on, but we already saw what things are on, the microphones are on. Now, this is what I want you to see. You can also mix your sound if you want, but okay. You notice anything unusual about that microphone I was talking about? Yeah, look at that. It's got a little X on it. That means for whatever reason, your microphone is not working, okay? And this happened to me. It's happened to me 2 or 3 times in the last year, where all of a sudden the person can't hear me. First thing I do is I look down there, and if there's X next to it, I just click on that, and I'm back in business again, okay? You can also do that with your clients, because you need to know how to arrange your microphone and speakers. For example, if you have trouble, you go to, I don't know if I can do this on, no, if I share screen. Well, what you want to do is go to control panel, or right in the bottom control panel. When you get to the control panel, go to sound. You click on sound, and it will tell you what your default microphones and speakers are. Because sometimes you'll think you have a microphone on to say I'm using my camera, and it's really using my earbuds as a microphone. I don't want that because it's not going to sound as good. So if you have any trouble, check your sound on the control panel. Also, if your client's having trouble, you can say, well, we can't hear you, so you have to leave the group. No, you say, listen, go to your control panel and check that your default speaker and microphone are what you want to use. And also, I've had it several times, go and click the X next to the speaker. So you need to be able to solve technical problems, and they will come up, okay? I don't know if I have that on this at all. Wait, let me see something. Yes, I do, here. Okay, if you look at the bottom icons that I have on my computer, if you notice this one here, right here below, is a Spotify, okay? I keep my WhatsApp and I keep my emails open. If I need to, just check if there's any emergency or anything like that. But Spotify, I don't need to be open on my website. And it would pop up twice. Now, the Spotify, for some reason, I'm doing a therapy session, all of a sudden, rock and roll music comes on in the middle of the session. Where's that coming from? What's happening? I actually panicked. It was unbelievable. It was good rock and roll. I only listen to good rock and roll. And then the blues came on once, so I will turn it off and not start it. See, it's not on this one. See my PowerPoint here. This is Zoom. This is my control panel right here. I don't know if you can see it because I'm below. I think you can see it. Anyways, let's go on. I think we finished with microphones. Now, I did want to talk about, I got to stop share because this I can show you. You are sharing screen, stop share. Okay. Now, this I want to show you. I could have done it in share screen, actually. I think I could have done it in share screen. I think it's better in share screen because then you can see it for sure. All right, we're going to back to share screen. See, I'm learning about this. Okay, now I'm going to turn off my camera here. Stop video here. Now, no, I don't think it's here. Okay, that's what I want to do. All right, here we go. Now, I'm going to recommend, if you're going to be doing group work or even individual therapy, you buy a camera, a webcam, because they're much better than the laptop cameras, much, much better. And if you get the right camera, which has an app, watch what you can do. This is my app for my camera. Okay, it comes up. I hit that. Okay, that turned off my otherwise, if I had my camera on over here in the small box, this wouldn't show up. So I can do a lot of things here to adjust my camera. I can move the camera itself without moving. Oh, geez. Okay, got it. Now, move the camera by moving this box. And now, the important thing is when I go to advanced, okay, move it over here. Advanced gives me the opportunity to work my brightness. Make the picture brighter or darker. I'll stay where I was, which was 137. Okay, that's good enough. And I can also mess around with the contrast. Okay, I can also talk on the saturation of colors. I can make myself really tan. A nice bright blue sweater, I can leave it normal. Sharpness too, white balance. And once you make the changes on your app, you have to apply them and then write OK, and the changes will come in. So I'm really going to recommend that you get a video camera and an app that goes with it. Because look, if you're a patient in a group, I'm not expecting someone to be real clear. In fact, I think this video camera, no, I don't have. I think there is a. Let me just check them. I think there's a way of video camera. Hold on a second. I'm trying to integrate a camera. Video settings. Here, touch up my appearance. This is with the webcam. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I don't think it does much. but I just put it to the end. I figure I could use all the help I can get. So that's the only thing you can do with the webcam. But when you have the app with the webcam, it's really good. Laptop cams. So, but especially if you're a group leader, you want to be professional. You want to be able to control the situation, make sure that people are not flashing all over the screen, make sure that someone is visible, and there's something else. All right, let's say, I'm going to do this. Okay, there's a light, and it's ruining the picture, or there's sunlight coming through the window. I've had this a lot with clients. I'm just using a flashlight now, but you can see any light in the side or down here is going to change the screen. So you want to be aware of that with the lighting. And you're going to find that clients aren't aware. They just come in and they're not sharp. The colors are not good. It's dark. They're using backgrounds that are ridiculous and they're flashing all over the place. I love when the guy comes in, he's sitting on the moon. You know, I've had the client. The other thing is if you get a green screen behind you, the clarity of the screen background is less disturbing. See, if I can move my hand as long as, because they want green, they're programmed for green, but I don't recommend them. And again, I really recommend getting a webcam and an app. Then you can, change anything you want. Now, let me think if there's anything else I want to cover. I've covered the mic, I've covered the video. Let me check here. Oh, yeah. Today, when I first started, I had 5 millibytes of download, which is pretty slow for today. By the way, there was criticism last time we met that the Israelis are technically less proficient than the Americans. The Americans have it all. It's not true. This is true 10 years ago. 10 years ago, when I started groups, there was one woman who was lagging. And I said, "Why are you lagging?" I said, Are you sitting near the modem? She said, "No, I don't know." I said, "Why don't you know?" The modem's at my neighbor's. She was using her neighbor's modem and she was lagging. By the way, if you have difficulties, you may want to stay close to the modem, or you can direct hook up. You'll have no trouble. But I use the Wi-Fi, but the modem's real close. And if someone else in the house is using the modem, if a kid is gaming or someone's downloading a movie, it'll slow things up. Now, last week I had a client from Mexico who was sitting on the mirpeset, the balcony above his house. The modem was downstairs in the living room. He couldn't go down because he had guests, but he was getting stuck. We had to actually stop the session because couldn't stop. He gets stuck. You'd be talking, and he would get stuck. And what do? You wait until he gets on stuff. Then he finishes talking, but he's already explained for 5 minutes what he was talking about. And now you don't know what the hell he's talking about. So if you're doing Wi-Fi, stay close to the modem and make sure nobody's using the Wi-Fi. Now, as far as the Wi-Fi in Israel today, when I started, it was 5 millibytes. Then it went to 10 millibytes. I have a home in Kiryat Tivon, and I bought a program for 100 millibytes, but I could only get 40 because of the tashtit, the framework, or the wires coming in. They call it a tashtit, outside the poles and all that. Well, my particular neighborhood could only bring in 40. Now, Hot came in with 100, but so most people, almost everyone can get 40 millibytes, which is plenty of download, and they'll get it from Bezik or from Hot, from Yes. Now, I want to show you something which you can do. I got to go here. Bookmarks. Where am I? Speed test. Speed net test. Okay, now I'm going to do. Wait a minute. Let me get this out of here. Okay, I'm doing a speed test at speedtest.net. Okay, they always get where I am located wrong, which is fine by me. But go. Okay. It's going to connect. You can do this. Go to speedtest.net. It'll tell you what you're allow. Okay, go. It's very slow now, very slow. I'm over 100, I'm 150. I'm well over 200 most of the time. Yeah, here I go, 200. So I'm downloading over 200 millibyte download, okay? And the upload's even faster. All right. So you can check your internet. If you don't have 40 and you're going to be doing groups, you want to get more, but you can handle it with 40. If you don't have 40, it's not going to work. Okay. What else do I want to say? I think I've covered most of the points. Internet, yeah. Okay, what about this here? Secure area, we talked about lighting, microphone, camera, internet, speed test.net, okay. Closing all the other programs that you're not using at the time. And that is about it. Oh, another thing. Sometimes this happens with some of my clients, and also it happened with me a couple of times, where I can't seem to get my microphone on. Everything seems to be, all I have to do is restart the Zoom. So if someone gets stuck, they go out and restart, they'll come in unstuck. But now if they have a slow internet, they'll keep getting stuck. But once in a while, if something happens, they go out, they usually go out on their own, and then they come back and the problem is solved. Also, I don't know how we're going to work it when we begin to work groups with Get Help Israel, but I will say that in my work, I have to have a phone number where the person is located, everyone in the group, because if there's a lightning storm, which there was a few days ago, lightning and boom, internet went off for a split second, but it didn't come back on for about 2 minutes. So in 2 minutes, the guy I'm working with doesn't know what's going on. So I can call him and say, Joe, my internet just dropped. Hold on, I'll be back. Okay. Or if it's a long, I can talk to him for a while and then say, well, I guess we'll have to reschedule when the weather's better. That happens now and then. Oh, I can't see myself. There you are. Inferiority. There it goes. My inferiority is gone. Okay. So you can always check the speed of your internet and have a phone number. Okay. Now, I work with a license also in the States, so I need to be what they call HIPAA compliant, which means the Hospital Insurance Portability Something Act. But they regulate and they can prosecute people who don't live up to their expectations, don't conform to their expectations. For example, if a kid comes on, you're questioning the person's age. You might have the person hold up a license to confirm he's over 18, so you're not working with the kid. That has never happened in my experience, but that's what they want. But you do want to have, if you're collecting information, you want to have a questionnaire which will give you an emergency number. Okay, so if you're working with someone, all of a sudden they say, I can't take it anymore, I've had it, and they just lock out, you can call their emergency number. By the way, I've been supervising a online chat for Jerusalem, Kiddush Noar. It's called Mane Bereshet. You can check it out. It's for kids between the age of 14 and 26. So in crisis. And when someone's suicidal or someone is going to do something violent, we don't know where they are. We don't have any numbers. But what we can do is call the police, and the police can get on and find their location. I've had this several times. We actually got there in the nick of time. So you want to have a questionnaire which gives you some information. Where are they located? So if God forbid something happens, you can call the police and say, listen, I have a client who just passed out and they're at such and such an address. We had a young girl in Mane Bereshet who was bulimic, and she was a very good dancer too, but she'd pass out every now and then because she was working hard and depriving herself. And one time she was in a parking lot talking to one of my counselors, and she said, it's a chat, so they're typing. She said, I feel like I'm going to pass out. And the counselor that was working was not experienced enough to find out where she is. She said, does this happen to you often? I said, find out where she is. And then she disappeared. Well, we had no way of finding anything, but we were very lucky that the next time she came in, she said she had called the ambulance. She called Magen David before she passed out. But so you want to get some information. I want to know what medications they're on. What I would suggest, if you're interested, you can look at my questionnaire on my website. You're welcome to copy anything you want. And you can get an idea of the questionnaire and all the things that have to be HIPAA compliant. The questionnaire is handled by an external website called Enhanced Web Services. It's not stored any of the information in my room here. It's online with them, and I can access it with a password. Because if someone were to break in here or I were to lose my laptop, that's what happens. But they're usually HIPAA's going after big units, big hospitals. And I've seen incidents where a hospital employee lost his or her laptop. I think I'd say their laptop. The individual lost their laptop, and everything was stolen, all the information from the hospital. And that's big fines and big investigations. So they're not really going after the individual, but to play it safe, I stay HIPAA compliant, which means with the Enhanced Web Service, I have to have a business associates agreement, which means it's called the BAA, because if they have a breach, they have to notify HIPAA and me right away that all my questionnaires were stolen. But that hasn't happened in the last 10 years. So they're really good. I'm not recommending, there are a lot of places you can use that are password protected. You're welcome to look at my website. When I started out, I was doing online group therapy. I just call it onlinegrouptherapy.com. Today, if I were to sell that onlinegrouptherapy.com, it's worth a lot of money today. I used to be called Trotsky.com, and it expired. I went in to get it the next day to renew. Someone had stolen it. Someone had picked it up. They scan for who drops a domain. They pick it up and they hold it. They wanted $2,000 for me to get Trotsky.com back. So I went and put drtrotsky.com, drtrotsky.com. That worked too. So this is going to be the future. And if you're going to, I'm talking not about, it's already the future, the individual, but the group work is going to be the future. And there are a lot of topics you can get out there and do in group work. And the most important thing I can leave you with tonight, or today, or this morning, whenever you're looking at this film, is to try and be as great an example of using this technology as you can possibly be. Get the setting, get the lighting, get the background, get the mics working right, get a good camera, and learn to use all these different things, because they work. I finally was able, I think, to make some sort of presentation of understanding something. I think I covered everything in my PowerPoint here. I think I did. Come on. Let me just make sure I covered everything in my PowerPoint. This is the last slide. Oh yeah, this is the last slide. I didn't cover everything. Another tip. Let me get this back up here. You can't see what I'm doing, but I don't understand what I'm doing, but I'm doing. How do I get this back to full screen again? Wait a second here. Full screen. Where's the icon for full screen? I think I can double click it twice, it'll pop up to full screen. No, it doesn't. All right, let me see if I can do this. Pick it up. Well, the problem is this. You don't see it. It's this bar that I can take this bar out of here and put it up top where it was. Now I can see the icon. There it is. Okay. Now, I showed you, what is this screen? What am I doing on this screen? I think I wanted to show you on this screen. I showed you the X, but also want to show you the participants. Okay, you click on the participants. Now, there's only me here now, but you'll have all the participants. Okay. Excuse me. Now, what you can do here is if someone is having trouble with their camera, you can go to their camera here. Let's assume this is one of the clients. Click on the camera and turn off their camera, and then click on Ask Me to Start My Camera. And they'll get a notice, start your camera. And sometimes that brings them back. You can also mute a microphone of one of your clients, and you can turn off their video. You can also kick them out too. I've never had to do that. So that's it. I was able to accomplish everything that I wanted to with these slides. I have no idea what you're seeing. I won't be able to know until I stop screen, stop share. I'm finished. I managed to get it all done. So it's a learning experience. Use what you can from this tape. Go back over what you don't know and learn. You'll learn best by experience, because it's not that complicated. It took me a couple of times making some clips here to figure out how to present this stuff, because what I'm seeing on my screen, they're not seeing, the clients, and you're not seeing. That's if you were my clients. So that's about it. If there's any questions or any criticism or anything, any suggestions you have, please email me. It's real easy. It's dr@onlinegrouptherapy.com or dr@drtrotsky.com. You're welcome to look at my website and use anything you want, any of the forms. There's consent to treatment. There's personal privacy information, all kinds of things that I had to get to be HIPAA compliant. You're welcome to copy them and change the name and the dates, and because I want everybody to get on. I see my career, God willing, going for a few more years, but I'm going to pull out. I'm pulling out of this chat now, and I want to, control my practice. But you young folks out there, which is most of you, get online, get on the groups. It's the future. 10 years from now, you're going to have big screens. You'll walk in and you say, group number 3 on anxiety. Everything's going to pop up for you. It's going to be great. Get on it and stay on the technology, and good luck. We'll see you all. Bye-bye.